Ancient Peacekeeper, the Tranquil. All he does is just hangs out there the entire time, and you have to figure out what exactly it is you have to do to actually harm him. Welcome everybody to the Falcon one-shot. On the agenda, we have the Aquatic Adventure of the Last Human. This right here is a really fun title I kind of stumbled upon. Essentially, it kind of really reminds me of a very story-driven, atmospheric Metroidvania game with a little bit of a Shadow of the Colossus type of feel, in the sense that the boss fights could be really ginormous compared to your scope. Really fun and difficult boss fights. And there's obviously a few puzzle elements along the way to kind of unlock a next area or the next place you should be heading to actually get to your next boss. Alrighty, so that's our cue to get underway, so let's go ahead and get the move on here. So as you will notice right now, there is going to be a lot of amazing kind of like pixel-styled artwork in the background. Based on the little introduction itself, I've done some progress in this game my own right, but I have not necessarily completed it myself, but I do kind of understand what's happening over here. Let me do some maneuvering around and show you. This right here, the holotapes, will be kind of your key to kind of figure out what exactly happened here. We'll talk more about the intro pretty soon, but let's actually go ahead and read the holotape over here. 3016-119. This base will be our new frontier for interstellar missions. Press F to close. So based on the introduction alone, I could only assume. By the way, these crawlies over here, fish and jellyfish, they're not necessarily attack you. Don't you worry one bit. There's going to be some aggressive ones down the line, but these right here will be just fine for now. Based on the introduction alone, I could only figure that we were some sort of space mission somewhere, and we might have been sucked into a black hole. That's still a calm fish. He's not going to kill you. And we were somehow warped into the future, well beyond the time of man. And this right here is the leftovers, and you kind of have to figure out what exactly happened and that time that you were gone and why, you know, civilization is this now, underwater. Go ahead and read this one here. The floodgate will remain closed until the water levels stabilize. Base 702 will be your home for now. Press F to close. You got it, my friend. Alright, so over here, this will be kind of like your first real big puzzle hazard. Essentially, you need to move this bad boy over here to open that up. So we have no choice but to continue going underneath over here. Soon enough, we're going to get into our very first boss fight. I kind of have a stationary point where I want to stop this video at. More and more reports are coming in that gigantic clams are destroying our worker drones. Be cautious out there, workers. Press F to close. And that's right here, the clams. You touch those guys, you instantly die. You might want to avoid them completely. I have a bit of a point where I want to stop this video at. This is just a one-shot, so I mean, I was probably considering doing more. But for now, I just want to kind of leave it as a one-shot and kind of bring this to attention at the very least here. Beware of sewage pipe leaks. Corrosive sewage will greatly damage the hull of all work shuttles. Avoid contact for your own safety. Press F to close. I really wish that kind of moved a bit slower because I'm over here reading. It's kind of like, alright, come on, speed it up here a little bit. But as I mentioned, I have a point that I want to get to. However, this point is all based on how long I could take in these boss fights coming up, because I want to get to a third boss. I want to cover two of them in this video, and the third one is the one that I really want to end at because it's really ginormous in terms of the scope. It's a really fun boss fight, no less, and I just, for some reason, even though with this kind of like, you know, simple pixel type of style, this boss fight that I'm talking about is just really, for some reason, it just kind of left a really good impression on me. Alright, so this right here is going to be our first weapon, the harpoon. We can use this to kill even regular fish, and more importantly, it's going to be our main weapon against our first boss fight, and most of our boss fights going forward over here. And we can also now trigger the keys to open up these gates over here. You might want to get through that pretty fast because that will actually come down and crush you. How do I know this? Well, you know, I just do. Alright, here's our first boss fight. The Tunneling Terror, the Worm. Not really too difficult once you figure out his little, you know, tactics over here. The only problem with this is that they do a ton of damage compared to yours. And he is over here flying towards me. If you shoot him when he's flying towards you, you'll get him to retreat. What we're trying to avoid right now is obviously him coming underground. And here we go. Oh, don't bump into him, Falcon. So you want to do this whenever he pops up, and you want to go back up, because he's going to do that afterwards, and that would be pretty bad. Believe me, I have studied the patterns of this guy for a while, and the following boss fights, because I fucking raged quite a bit playing this game. Like, it's no lie to say that some of these boss fights are just ridiculously difficult based on the amount of damage they can actually do if they hit you, so we're trying to avoid that. Alright, perfect. Now, we'll talk more about our weapon here pretty soon. We're almost done. We're almost done. Now, at this point, you've won. All you have to do is beat him in that right spot. There we go, we got him. Add it to creature log, press F to click and close, right? So as you beat these guys along, you'll actually get these little logs, and you can check them out in the main menu. They're actually pretty neat. This right here, it seemed pretty easy because, you know, I kind of knew the pattern for it. But until you figure it out, the amount of damage he does is just ridiculous. So in terms of our harpoon here, if you can just click, you'll do some small little fast attacks that don't really go too far. If you hold on to this and actually move your mouse way off, you could actually do long shots. And those will be really useful later on because I believe our next boss fight, we definitely want to use distance to our advantage because it's going to be a bit more difficult. And right now we're actually going through... I'm not sure if this means this is like the... We're coming out the poop hole of the worm? Is that what it probably means? I have a feeling that's what the reason why the game wanted you to kill it in that certain spot, because it seems like we're going in through the insides and we're coming out the worm's poop hole. At least that's what it seems like to me. Alright, so we'll open this up. Got a little save over here happening. Again, the second boss fight is the one that I'm worried about and the one that I feel that it could go either way. I could either have a good, easy time with it, or I could just die over and over and just rage my head off. Let's see, you could actually kill these fishies, as I mentioned. They're not going to be aggro towards you, so you don't really have to do it unless you feel the need to, you know, go out there and just kill fish for some reason. I mean, just leave them alone, dog. They're not doing anything to you whatsoever. You go about your way, try to figure out what happened to society here in civilization, and leave the fish alone, alright? I mean, you don't have to. You can just go ahead and kill them. It's your call on that one. I do it every now and then just out of curiosity. Actually, I do it pretty often whenever I start dying really often to the bosses, then I'm just kind of like, you know what, I'm just pissed off. Everything must die. Anyway, light is going to be kind of really important to this game as well. I'm pretty sure, I haven't actually uncovered it myself, but I have to imagine at some point there's going to be some sort of light upgrade. So far, I don't want to talk too much ahead of it because I do believe we get the second weapon after the second boss fight here. But right now, what my goal is going to be, as we take in the music. By the way, I'm going to try to have the music a bit higher than usual in the videos because the music is actually really, really great in this game. Very atmospheric and just kind of completes the entire mood. So, I mean, I apologize for over here just yabbering on and on. But, you know, that's kind of the premise of the Falcon one-shots over here to kind of, you know, share my impressions about a game over here for you. So right now we got our first hull upgrade. You need at least 2 or 3 of those before you get into your second boss fight. At least I would encourage you to do so. The future doesn't look bright. Sooner or later we will die on this planet. All of us. How long did we really expect to survive? Forever? The dinosaurs lasted 65 million years. We'll never make it that long. Or technically it says well, but there should be an apostrophe right there. Close this off. And is it just me, or does this rock over here formation kind of looks like a pterodactyl's head? It actually almost reminds me a little bit of like Ridley. Really? No? Nobody sees him? It kind of has like a little Ridley vibe for me. Anyway, we got our first health upgrade over here. We want to aim for at least... Hey, buddy. Oh, okay. That right there is story related. You'll see him quite a few times, and it leads me to believe there's probably still maybe someone still alive, or at least maybe the civilization that we know has become like automatic, robotized, cybertized, automatized. I don't know, some sort of automatic type of function. But you do see that dude pretty often, and he will be interacting with the layout as well. So this right here we can get into, we get an upgrade for that crate, unfortunately. To the right over here will be another area that we have no ways of progressing towards at the moment, so we'll skip it here for now. We'll come down this side. I just want to make sure that we're getting all the holotapes so we can flesh out the story over here. It's hopeless. We've been studying the stars, traveling to distant planets in an attempt to find an Earth analog. But alas, there is none. We are helplessly bound to this planet like the unborn child of a dying mother. Ain't that the truth, brother? You speak it, man. Alrighty. And what's really cool is, this right here is a gas station. I believe it's like a Texaco if I'm right. But if you go all the way down here, into our next little area, which is going to be the Crossroads. By the way, the Crossroads has some really amazing music to it as well. Let me just be quiet here for a second. Take it all in for a while. Really good stuff. So right here we got our first save station. With this one, you'll be able to actually jump from one station to the other one as you unlock them, so you don't necessarily have to like backtrack too often, so it's a really cool feature. Let's come over here, get an upgrade, and at the same time take in some of the atmosphere of the game itself. There's another holotape. Let's read this one here first. Eternal Media. The great facility of District 7 generates more than enough energy to sustain itself. It also powers most of our media databases. Basically, it means that messages, like this very message, might last far longer than us. Don't you know it, my friend? Let's come over on this side. We have some windmills over here. We have another health upgrade, which is going to be pretty useful for next boss fight. Check it out. We have a Mickey D's over here as well. And then this right here is amazing in terms of the scope. There's really not much we can do in District F right now, and that is not where we're going. But I wanted to show off at least how it looks over here, and this is just really amazing to me. Again, great music to kind of accompany the overall feel. As you can see, we're actually traveling behind the buildings over here, and some of the other graphics going forward, you actually travel in front of, so it has like a really cool little semi-3D perspective to it. I believe there's another holotape down here too. Yeah, let's go ahead and read this one. This is humanity's home now. This is a new era. The time of prosperity and peace, of ecology and oneness with the Earth. The time for life below the surface is now. Press F to close. Welcome to District 7. This is like some Bioshock shit right here, dog. We have Andrew Ryan over here. What is a man? Wait a minute, that's actually, that's Dracula from Symphony of the Night. Getting my Andrew Ryans and Dracula's over here mixed up. Can you really blame me, though? They're probably the same person. Have you ever seen them together? I really haven't. Then again, you haven't really seen Andrew Ryan either, right? Because, yeah. Oh, spoilers! You haven't played that game yet? It's been, like, out forever, dog. Alright, so right now we want to go over to the right-hand side. We want to go to our second boss fight. If we get through this guy, we are going to be okay. Here's an enemy, by the way. Those things that he's shooting over there hits you, they do a ton of damage, so you might want to avoid them. If we could get through this boss fight without too much of an issue, we are basically set free to go to the third one, which is the one that I really want to showcase before we wrap up this video. There's also another upgrade over here that I want to pick up before we fight the second boss fight. Second boss fight isn't really too difficult. It's just a matter of sometimes rolling a better... just getting lucky sometimes as well in terms of how you're going to go ahead and avoid the attacks, because it's more of a tricky fight than the first one was. So if I do get a little bit quiet for this one, I hope you understand, but some profound concentration is sometimes really needed for these difficult boss fights over here. So we have the stallions over here. 2 of them. So what I want to do for the most part is just charge up. This is one of those fights that you want to fight from afar. As you can see, they're over here shooting little small seahorses at me because that's what seahorses are, right? Asexual creatures. So, you just want to completely... I would encourage you never to go down and fight them head-to-head. Ever. This is really painful. Move, dog. This is really painful. Don't ever come down and fight them because on the sides of the map, there are clams. And we've talked about the clams being instant deaths, right? The seahorses have an attack which will actually push you towards the sides of the wall. So, once you're down there and they push you, it's instant death. So you definitely want to avoid fighting them head-to-head. Now, once you're at the halfway marker, they've now spawned medium seahorses, which will indeed cover the shots that you're taking on the bosses, and also cause tremendous damage to you if you get too close. This is the reason why you want to hang out up here the entire time. You will regain HP over time as well, so on occasion, if you feel like you need to just kind of hang out, try to hang out a bit. Avoid damage, obviously. And you will slowly regain some energy over here. As long as we can bring one of them down, the fight's over. There it is. Okay, we got the first one down. And technically, at this point, it's going to be really hard to lose. But it's not impossible. I've done it before just because of carelessness. And let me tell you, this is only seeming like it looks a bit easy just because I took some time to actually play this off camera for a while, and I just really enjoyed the game for once, so I really wanted to check out what's ahead of it. But some of these boss fights, this one in particular, took me like at least like 45 minutes to really learn the strategy for. And it was just really frustrating. Like, I was goddamn pissed off. Like, I haven't really gotten this mad at video games in a while, but this game really pushed me to the limit to an extent over here, and I was just kind of like, man, fuck this game. I enjoy it, but fuck these bosses. This is just too difficult. It's unfair. Until I finally got it. You know, you gotta get good, I guess. Added to creature log, we have the fathers, the stallions over here. Cool. And now we have our chainsaw. So with this over here, we'll be able to actually cross through those vines that we noticed that there was an upgrade box behind, right? So let's go ahead and click through here. It's also useful for our third boss fight, which is the one we're going to go to right now. I like how these guys just remain over here. And this right here is the clams I mentioned. So the seahorses will actually do some attack with their tail, which doesn't really hurt you, but it just pushes you against the wall instantly, killing you. So, yeah, kind of, that's the reason why I mentioned it's kind of cheap and I was getting really mad, because it's like, you know, instant one dead kills. Which, you know, pisses me off a little bit, but at the same time, you know, it's part of the game mechanic. You know, I didn't make the game. I just played the game. I enjoy the game too, but, you know. I'm sorry, Fish. He just kind of got in my way over here. I would go after the upgrade, but honestly, we're about to wrap it up here. I just really wanted to show off the boss. Now, let me see if we can even make it to the boss from this area. We might have to go around. We can't go through there just yet until we get an upgrade. But I believe if we go underneath, we should be fine. Is there any other holotapes here that can check out the story? As you can see over here, we have a warning lamp advised. Oh, there's an upgrade over here. What are you supposed to be? Weapon charge speed upgraded. Perfect for the harpoon. I want to avoid this. So I'm pretty sure at some point there's got to be like some sort of upgrade for the light, because some areas get really dark. Oh my god, Dinosaur Man. So if we cut these bad boys open and follow them along, don't actually get hit by them, you will die. They will break this open for you. Which I'm pretty sure leads into this whole area with the boss fight, if I'm correct. You might want to avoid that. This right here is going to be the third one, which I really enjoy. Like, for some reason, this game, this boss fight has just really made an impact on me. Like, I enjoy the look of it, I enjoy the name of it, the puzzle type of element to it. It's called the Tranquil, and you'll see why right now, so check it out. Ancient Peacekeeper, the Tranquil. All he does is just hangs out there the entire time, and you have to figure out what exactly it is you have to do to actually harm him. First things you're probably thinking, oh yeah, we have to come over here, and just probably attack these things long enough till they actually fall off or something, right? Well, you're kind of right, but you're also kind of wrong, because remember we uncovered a buzzsaw, right? Well, once you actually do enough damage to these bad boys, you can use the buzzsaw. Boom, baby! Okay, don't get hurt by that. And we took one of his arms. This is, again, another two-stage fight, much like the seahorses brought a different type of element to the mix after you brought them halfway. This as well will turn pretty difficult after a bit. So right now, you kind of have to figure out the puzzle to it. But we're going to wrap it up here. This is a really fun game, especially if you're into the whole Metroidvania and big giant boss fights over here. This right here is personally my favorite so far, but there's still a lot more ahead. And some of them, my god, I was just really goddamn angry of. But this is a really difficult game, especially until you figure out how to beat the bosses. And then not only trying to figure out how to beat them, but then actually getting that perfect run together, string it together to actually go ahead and defeat them. But we're going to wrap it up over here. If you enjoyed the game, the description below should have a link to the story page itself. Fun game, check it out if you're into this type of stuff. I will catch you next time.